I'm going to start by saying that the enthusiasm that somewhere, I think in early 2016, where we were so excited about foreign policy, an incident happened in this country, and almost everybody became an expert on Ghana's foreign policy, which was the Gitmo 2. And so everybody was espousing the ideas on how we should position ourselves as a country in dealing with our relationship with other countries, be that a bilateral or multilateral. Unfortunately, by the time the political parties announced their manifestos, the campaign was in full swing. We all seem to have forgotten about this exciting aspect of our governance, which is foreign policy. So hardly did we even hear the media asking questions about the foreign policy positions of the respective political parties. It was not really something that came on the campaign trail. At most, if it came up, it was more about we are taking a position. And so I know for a fact that very few of us are aware of the promises that were made by the political parties, which was only embedded in the manifestos. And I think a couple of CDD reports have indicated that very few of us read the manifestos. So we probably do not know. But other things have since come up in terms of foreign policies and foreign relations. That has also brought out this interest. So it's an interest that comes up when an incident occurs, and then it wanes the moment we move on to the next topic. Although it is similarly same pattern as with other issues in this country. But I think that foreign policy is always it's left to the corner somewhere. I want to highlight a few things since January 7, 2007 to something at the end of last year, what has taken place. And so, as most of us are aware, we try to glean from the President's announcements of appointees, beginning from who is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Unlike our counterparts in the U.S., who is appointed, the National Security Advisor, gives you an inclination of what the President's foreign policy is going to be like. It is not the same here in Ghana. Even with who is appointed as foreign ministry, it is very difficult to really determine based on that appointment. And so, for the first time, we have a foreign minister and two deputy foreign ministers. And so some of us were of the opinion that is it an approach to break down the ministry? Because as you recall, under His Excellency the President Akuffo, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs became Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. So with two deputies, we were, some of us thought that the attention was to have one deputy represent the regional integration component of the ministry, and the other deputy also focused on the foreign ministry. We still haven't seen clearly what the roles of the two deputies really are, and I hope my panelist here will probably tell me exactly what it is that his role was when his appointment was announced to him. The other things are the appointment of missions to the respective missions abroad. What we know is that currently the President has almost filled up all the missions abroad with the various appointments that have to be made. We have now included two missions, which is Qatar and Kuwait. Quite an interesting inclusion to be made, and I say interesting on the basis of what is happening globally, because we know that Qatar is now engaged in some conflict with its partners. So we have Qatar is engaged in some diplomatic siege with some Gulf states. That is include Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Bahrain, and others. And so the decision to create a mission, initially when I heard it was, what does it say? What does it represent? What is Ghana's position on that? Does it say something about we taking a position on that conflict that is going on? But once again, we're never told why. The only reason we're told was to enhance our bilateral relationship with Qatar. But it sends a certain signal, because within that discourse, within that conflict, there were other states that came to cut ties with Qatar. And now we go to establish a mission. Are we saying that we are supporting Qatar in that diplomatic seat? Or we are saying that we already have relationship with the other countries that are engaged in the siege with Qatar. And so by establishing it, we are just reiterating our position as a neutral state. We have relationship with both of you, so we don't have to make a stand. So there's a lot of interpretations that you can put on some of these things that we do. They are not just about economic diplomacy, enhancing it, but we need to really think through it. And then sometimes beyond the president giving letters of credence to the high commissioners and ambassadors that are appointed, we probably want to hear more from the president beyond what they are going to do there as to promote Ghana abroad. And so when new missions are created, I think that we want to know more about it and what it says. And maybe the president can take that opportunity to also announce Ghana's position on some of these things. But I'd like to say that generally, under President Akuffo Addo in the last year, we are not straight far from our norm in international relations. Foreign relations. The president has stuck to the norm, where Ghana has always presented this peaceful relationship with its neighbors and other relations, and its preference for engaging with multilateral organizations. And so we've stuck to that. And so when it comes to multilateral organizations, Ghana has been consistent, let's say from the Fourth Republic. Whatever position the AU has taken on any other issue, Ghana has been consistent. And so one of the incidents that came up last year was the vote on U.S. declaration of Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. And I remember when I heard that the third gentleman of the state, the Speaker of Parliament, had made certain comments to suggest that Ghana's position was shifting from that of the AU. It really was something that was quite exciting, and I asked myself, are we going back to after Nkrumah when we said that we're not going to have any dialogue with apartheid, and here comes the government and says that we have to dialogue with apartheid. But I was glad that immediately the minister came up and issued a statement and said that Ghana's positions remains consistent with that of the AU, demonstrating that we continue to support whatever multilateral relationship and agreements that we sign up to. So we have not strayed very far away from that role of engaging with multilateral organizations in terms of how we go about foreign relations under President Akuffo Addo. President Akuffo Addo also took up the role of the co-chairperson of the Sustainable Development Goals, which was held by President Mahama. So it's still a continuation of that. The other one being the fact that once the president had his turn at the UN, once again he reiterated Ghana's position on the need for reforms at the UN. And just another note, I mentioned to my students that one thing you can predict the president's statement to include will be the call for reforms at the UN. And it was not because I thought that the president, since the initial discussions on the African position on reforms at the UN was part of it, but it was because from 2005, all presidents that have been at the UN have raised this, and so it is one of Ghana's consistent positions and points to my observation that we haven't strayed far. In terms of bilateral relations, I know most of you here are more interested about the president's travel itinerary, or what I call his footprint. in terms of how many places is visited, what it means for Ghana, what is the relationship. Indeed, there's been a lot of travel around both Africa and also outside the continent. The president and others have also returned that visit to enhance the relationship. And none of these countries that he has visited is outside what other former presidents have done. So once again, continue with it. Now, in the area of bilateral relationship, another observation that I've made is in terms of how Ghana relates to its immediate neighbors. And by immediate neighbors, I mean to the east, to the west, to the north. So the three countries that surround Ghana, not the entire sub-region. If you do recall, when the Ivorian crisis started under President Mills, the position of Ghana, which the president loudly proclaimed, was that the infamous Diwupiasem. And so at that point, foreign relations analysts were asking, is that the new focus of Ghana's foreign relationship with its neighbors? But if you look at it critically, it seems that the quiet diplomacy approach and the not publicly declaring a position or even mediating is almost always related to when they are immediate neighbors. And I'm saying this this based on the fact that looking at what is going on in Togo today, the current president has not made any public statement, but his actions tells me of one of quiet diplomacy approach, one that you don't want to be elected as the mediator. It is okay for us to mediate in Gambia, but when it's your close relation, you want to be very strategic because you want to observe and rather play the quiet diplomacy role. Unfortunately, 10 minutes is gone. But I want to quickly raise two things. The appointment of ambassadors and ministers, the current High Commissioner to South Africa's appointment and certain proclamations that he made led us to now question some of these appointments as to whether we need more career diplomats or political appointments. And I must say that under the president, we have more political appointees, even to the point that the new deputies in London and in Bonn are political appointees, which is not the norm. The deputies usually are career diplomats, and so we are seeing a trend. It is not something that is wrong, it is the president's prerogative to decide who he appoints. But I think that what happened with our High Commissioner to South Africa tells us that after you've appointed these people, there's some training and some orientation that they need to go through. And here I want to underscore the need why maybe Lesia is under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And this is where the academia and others can come in training and orienting these people that you might be a political appointee, but once you are appointed to represent Ghana, the mandate and what is expected of you changes. And so even when you have left your post and you are in Ghana, you are still considered Ghana's High Commissioner to somewhere that representing Ghanaians. And so whatever you say has a lot of implications. And so we really need to do that. I'd like to suggest some areas of focus. One, I think that Ghana, and particularly not just Ghana, but Africa has been missing on the debate on climate change. And we think that it's something that is so far away, but there's a lot going on. And I think that this is an area that Ghana can capitalize on and make its voice more forcefully heard, and also push African countries to take a position on that. It is about time we shifted our position to just being receivers of this agenda and also contributing, because the impact of climate change cuts across this whole food security issues that we've been talking about. It's linked to climate change. The herdsmen, the migration patterns are linked to climate change. And so we need to also have some policy directions on that.